Hi, it's Splinterverse. Welcome to another episode of D&D New Releases, the show where we talk about new third-party products for Dungeons & Dragons from both Dungeon Masters Guild and DriveThruRPG. We cover 20 new titles from each of those sites. This is not a review show, as we have not looked at any of these products in full, so please venture into them at your own discretion. We do include alphabetical links to all of the titles shown in this video in the video description. So if you want to help the channel, please use those links to purchase these titles. You can also support by purchasing one of our books, two of which are shown on screen right now, and those are also linked in our video description. Please subscribe and share the video as well. It helps the channel and all of the creators in today's episode.
Quick programming note, my next book, Feywild Companion, will be released on Monday, September 20th, 2021 on DM's Guild. It contains 150 pages of Feywild fun for players and dungeon masters. I'm releasing teasers every day on my Twitter at Splinterverse, so check it out, follow me, and get Feywild. This week's episode features titles released between September 10th and the 16th of 2021. We've got 5th edition titles, OSR, Mork, Borg, you name it, it's in here this week. Whether it's adventures, rules changes, subclasses, they're all in here, so stay tuned all the way to the end so you don't miss a thing. First up, we have 25 Apparitions, Spirits, and Hauntings by Don Stroud and 𝘬𝙬𝙬 Press. It's $4.99 at 20 pages on DriveThruRPG. A ghostly bestiary with 25 minor ghosts and encounters. Inside, we've got a list of all the different apparitions and spirits you might see, including the Weeping Spirit, Ethereal Projector, Ghostly Wagon, Ringing Shadow. They're all here. They've got that classic black and white feel for OSR-looking books. Get to see 4 of the 20 pages. Got some cool sketch art in here. Looks fun. Various stats. So let's read about the gaseous horror. Glowing with green light, this minor ghost manifests as a floating bloated torso and skeletal face. Gaseous horrors are the sole remnants of wanderers led astray by will-o-wisps and drowned in the rotten waters of bogs, marshes, and swamps. The smell of the fetid waters and their decaying flesh projects from their non-corporeal remains. So got a smelly, gross-looking creature here, which is fun. And you've got all your little stats and various information about the creature. So, looks like it could be a lot of fun if you're in the market for some spirits. Maybe you're getting ready for like a Halloween themed adventure, or you're playing in Ravenloft. This looks like a really good option. So check it out by clicking 25 Apparitions in those links in the video description. Next we have Adventuring Companions for Duet 5th edition from Grove Guardian Press, $6.99 at 24 pages. And Duet's becoming more popular. That's where you have a dungeon master and a player only. That's my understanding. I've never played it, but that's what I'm understanding from reading it. And we've featured a couple titles like that, and I think it's fun. I mean, especially with pandemic and various things, you may not be able to get a whole group together, so having supplements that support just 2 people playing is really cool. So it says 2 adventuring companion classes, 7 subclasses, 6 adventuring companion characters, and supplemental rules. Why travel alone when you could have a powerful weaponsmith or an entrancing way of words witch at your side? This supplement for Duet 5th edition gaming seeks to answer precisely that rhetorical question with 2 classes, the Witch and the Crafter, designed specifically for one-on-one play. You'll also find a unique adventuring companion characters with backstories, optional mechanics like adventuring companion feats, character backgrounds, and optional rules for animal companions. So part 1 introduces the 2 adventuring companion specific classes, the Crafter and the Witch, and then it says they've designed them for flexible adventuring. So they're not overshadowing the player or adding a bunch of complicated mechanics, so that's good. The Crafter has 2 subclasses called Practices, the Apothecary and Weaponsmith. And then part 2 introduces 6 adventuring companions, each of whom has a unique backstory and adventuring goal, as well as a level 1 stat block. And then there's 2 character backgrounds you can incorporate into the Duet game. And then in part 3, they cover companion feats and optional rules for animal companions. So, very cool. You can see all of the list of things they've got in here. They don't have a full preview I wish we could see a page or two, even if it's just as an image in here, because this sounds really cool, and I think it's going to be super valuable for people considering duet play. I'm excited by that option, especially with the limited resources these days of people. So check it out under Adventuring Companion, Classes, and Characters in the video description links. Next, we have Applied and Aggregate Spelunking with a beautiful cover. Love this cover from AAW Games, $17.99 at 64 pages. And authors Thilo Graf, Jonathan Nelson. Says, explore the frontier of the underworld. 𝙁𝙤 settlement atop the stalactite beacon of hope for the weary and downtrodden is a community unlike any other, a place where all underworld races have come together to survive during desperate times. Situated at the frontier of the underworld, the very edge of civilization, the region around 𝙁𝙤 is mostly unexplored and holds both wonders and horrors, the likes of which no one has ever seen or encountered. Will your group survive long enough to help and perhaps settle in 𝙁𝙤, or will they perish in the dark depths of the underworld? So it's an underworld adventure teaching the rules presented in the Survivalist's Guide to Spelunking, which we presented in a previous weekly video, and it looked pretty cool. It's a pretty massive tome, all devoted to spelunking, with spelunking expertise, real-life spelunking expertise involved. So it seems really good and fun for people interested in doing some underdark, underworld stuff. So it says the unified races of 𝙁𝙤 need your help, and contains the new underworld setting of 𝙁𝙤, learn how to use the new rules, meet unique personalities, harvest dangerous cobra corals, learn to forage and hunt within the deep wilderness, mine like a proper dwarf, face horrifying and inscrutable foes, etc. So lots and lots of fun stuff, and you can see here's the original book that it goes along with, also with stunning art. So very cool. It'd be cool if they did like a bundle. Maybe they'll do that in the future, but I think this is awesome to support this. If you're learning how to do the underworld stuff, it'd be good to be able to execute on that. So let's take a look inside. Just love this art, and the layout is so nice and clean. Look at this, beautiful. Got a nice introduction, and look at that art for 𝙁𝙤, very cool. And then they've got the rules of 𝙁𝙤. We'll look at that in a minute. And then here's some of the characters that you'd meet there, it looks like. Oh wow, that's gorgeous. You can tell this was made for this. This isn't just stock art, right? This was made to depict 𝙁𝙤, and that's always nice when people can afford to do that. So help support creators that are doing that, because this is not cheap to get art like this. Look at all this beautiful map here for 𝙁𝙤. Yeah, this seems like a really fun adventure. I'm guessing you can play this without the spelunking rules, because it's really just a setting, so you could use just the setting. But yeah, I really like all this. So let's read some of the rules. It says, while 𝙁𝙤 was spared major conflicts since its inception, daily life is far from orderly or routine here. Help is sought and appreciated even from outsiders, so long as they abide by some simple and straightforward rules, although the residents of 𝙁𝙤 prefer to call them guidelines, appreciating their freedom and autonomy above all else. The strictest punishment 𝙁𝙤 knows is the Mork Ganger, the Dark Walk, when a criminal is exiled to the lightless depths, forever banned from 𝙁𝙤. So the rules are no killing or serious bodily harm, no stealing, or at least don't get caught, respect other races and their cultures. So it seems like it's kind of like a melting pot of underworld, underdark creatures and characters, which is really fun. I think this is stunning, and it's nice that they have like a detailed map down here explaining what all those things are. So you get to see 12 of the 64 pages, but I would definitely be interested in reading the whole thing. I think you guys should check it out. Even if you're not going to get the other book on spelunking, I'm sure you can use this on its own, because just from everything I saw here already, it can be used without that book. So I encourage you to check it out and give it a try by clicking the link in the video description for Applied and Aggregate Spelunking. Next, we have Awaken from DM Dave. It says, this is their island and they don't want you here. I love this artwork. Very, very beautiful. It looks like it might be by Tom Kartos. And the author is DM Dave, or Dave Hamrick. It's on sale for $6.99, normally $15. 48 pages for 5th edition. It's an adventure for 3 to 5 characters of 5th to 7th level, and optimized for a party of 4 characters with an average party level of 5. Although the adventure sees a fair amount of combat, it also requires critical thinking and role-playing. Players who only wish to fight their way out of situations may not enjoy this adventure, so that's good to know. It says, far out in the middle of the ocean stands an island of sand, rock, jungle, and creatures. This island isn't on any map. It isn't in any history books. No sea shanties share songs of its existence. No, the island is a total mystery. For centuries, it's trapped explorers, both domestic and extraterrestrial, within its watery borders. Humanoid, animal, fiend, or celestial, no one has ever been able to escape Mystery Island. So it says it references other adventures and locations within Mystery Island. Remaining Mystery Island adventures will be available in a magazine called Broadsword number 15. So that's cool that there's some opportunity to continue the fun on Mystery Island if you want. I like the concept of this island where everything is trapped, and there's role playing and kind of critical thinking involved, not just combat. So you've got endless customization options also. It says this, thanks to its adaptable nature, the various locations in Ostenwald can fit into any campaign setting. So yeah, let's take a look at the quick preview. So nice layout and art. So you get to see the map of the island. So quite a big island that you can have different things happening on. Talks about living there, researching. It seems like a great place to either start a campaign or go to early on in a campaign. Maybe you start in some regular village and then your ship kind of crashes there. But yeah, look at all this nice artwork. Seems to be very well laid out. You know, DM Dave does a lot of modules and a lot of stuff. So been doing this a long time. So definitely, I'm sure DM Dave is applying all of that knowledge to bringing this to you. So check it out under Awaken in those links in the video description. Next we have Cities of Myth, Saga of the Giants from Realmwarp Media at $9.99, 39 pages for 5th edition. It says it expands the Atlantis divided campaign setting by introducing the history of giant involvement in the plane. The trench giants rule the deep, the forge giants rule the mountains, and the star giants rule the skies. Ranging from benevolent to primal, the variety of giants are sure to provide flexible content for parties of Tier 2 and beyond. This product includes the following: extensive world building for 3 varieties of giants, 3 layers with maps, a 3-part mini-campaign, 14 stat blocks for CR 5 through 30, lore and suggestions for inserting other giants into Atlantis, Etten, ogres, Oni, etc., and a giant conlang and script. So very nice. You can get a little giant language there. So very cool. Let's take a look inside. So it looks like Daylight Publications is also involved in this. That's nice. So you've got all the table of contents here. Nice layout with the little scrolls and artwork here. Getting to see 29 of the 39 pages, so that's quite a generous preview. So you can see some of the stat blocks here, cool art, maps. Yeah, lots of stat blocks, which is always helpful. Look at that nice map. Okay, let's read about the Starblooded here. The Starblooded are unique beings, often the rare few experiments who have managed or were allowed to escape the Star Giants. They seek to retain their mortality and original lives, yet cannot ever come back from the things they have seen or places they have been taken. Standing between transcendence and groundedness, between enlightenment and bewilderment, Starblooded wander aimlessly, searching for a purpose. Most are unable to return to their mortal lives as they have hoped, yearning for what they are unable to have or get back. Starblooded individuals resemble the race they originally were, yet they have become something far different. Their skin takes on a metallic sheen, running the gamut from jet black tungsten to pale rose gold or silver. So very cool, different looking Starblooded, and then you've got the traits here. So you get some races in here, you get all kinds of stuff related to giants, lots of stat blocks. So you can use this with the existing campaigns, Cities of Myth stuff, Atlantis Divided, all that stuff, or you can use it on your own because you just pluck that race out of here, use some of the stat blocks, all that good stuff. But another fun product from Realmwarp. I'm excited for people to check it out. So click that link under Cities of Myth, Saga of the Giants down below in that video description. Next we have City of Brass from Motion Maps. It's $9.50. And it's for use for any system because it's a map. It So we've got it's animated with image stills representing a top-down view of the scene of the central place of an attacked typical Arabian city. Invaders succeed to opening the gates, smoke and fire effects, plus shots render scene with different angle view for better immersiveness. So it's got full HD, grid overlay and gridless, high res, 4K, all that good stuff. So they're recommending using a table, flat table with a TV on it, showing this map. But you can see it's a lot of fun. You've got this cool looking gate that people enter in through, and then all this stuff going on in this little city. And you can see some of the immersive views, which are not top down. They're more perspective, which is nice. And then a video showing how they look. But basically, when there's like a loop of things happening where the animations are playing, for like 2 minutes as you're using the map, and then it starts over the loop. But you wouldn't be able to tell that it started over because it's just seamless. So that can be really cool to have it slightly like the wind blowing, etc., beneath your miniatures and stuff like that. A lot of fun. It says that you can also use it with Roll20 and other things like that. So always love showing a map every week if I can, because they're a lot of fun, and I know you guys need those as well. So check it out under City of Brass in the links below. Next we got Die With Your Boots On by Derek Ruiz and Elvin Tower. It's a level 6 adventure for 5th edition. It's $4.95 at 17 pages. In Die With Your Boots On, a group of level 6 approach a tavern by the road only to learn that an orc horde approaches because they want to kidnap Princess Melda. The princess hides in Bloodspeak Castle, a fortress in the mountains that is mostly abandoned. It serves as the royal summer house a few days a year. The young princess defied her father's orders, threw a tantrum, and fled alone to the castle, endangering herself and dozens of loyal soldiers. The princess is unsatisfied with the king's decision over her future wedding suitors. So that's a good setup. She got fed up with her dad's attempts to marry her off to certain people, I guess. And now you gotta help with the situation here. Look at all the cool stuff inside, lots of artwork. Elvin Tower always has beautiful maps that you can use, and you can see there's some flavor text for each of the locations, and then the NPCs are depicted as well. So that's very cool. So let's take a look inside. So you get to see 9 of the 17 pages. So here's the adventure background and overview. Intro to the Drunk Deer Tavern. So we'll read one of these. Road to Bloodspeak Castle. The road north slants upward and zigzags through the various layers of the grassy fields. Contrasted to the south road, this one looks less traveled on. So yeah, you've got some cool details on the road even that you're traveling, and then there's an attack. I won't spoil it for those that might get to play it with their DM. So yeah, I love the artwork, love the maps, always good stuff from Elvin Tower as far as the look. So I'm sure it's going to be fun to look at this title, and it looks like it's a cool setup for an adventure. Especially if you have people that always like, where are the princesses? This one has a princess. So here you go. It's Die With Your Boots On in those links below. Give it a click. Next we have The Frozen Temple of Glacier Peak by Robin Fajam. And it is $2.99 at 24 pages. It's for OSR. The melting ice has revealed the walls of a long-forgotten temple at the summit of Glacier Peak. Historians and adventurers travel from afar to witness this legend come back to life, hoping to get a slice of the untold riches surely contained within. There's just one problem. The entrance is yet to be found. It's a dungeon adventure for Knave and other OSR inspired by Nordic folklore. It is 1 to 3, and it's 24 pages. So inside you'll find 3 dungeon levels, 14 monsters inspired by Nordic folklore, 13 random tables, lots of magic items, lots of artwork, and so there's 3 parts to the dungeon, and then there's also a bundle that contains it, so you can get 2 for $4.98, and so this is $2.99, so only a little bit more. You can get 2 different adventures, so both of which were released this week, but I like to stick to 1 title per creator, just to make sure more people get a shot at being in the video. So yeah, This looks like a fun setup for an adventure. Let's take a look. But being, you want a bundle to get a couple OSR adventures, this could be a good option for you. So all the intro to who worked on it and the setup there, and then you've got all your adventure started with your hooks and your rumors, and then a map here of the temple. So very cool. I like all the line art in here, and the maps look really nice. And you get to see 17 of the 24 pages, so that's a significant sneak peek. So I think you can read that and really judge if this title's for you. And then you won't risk your money. You kind of know, right? Okay, I've read enough to know this is going to work for me or not. So that's nice when the authors give that much for you to look at. So hooks here, a scholar is paying a handsome sum to investigate the temple. Okay, a prospector wants to start a mining operation in the mountain. That's a good one too. An oracle predicts great wealth for the one who claims the temple. So yeah, that's just 3 of the 6 hooks. So they've given you 6 hooks here. You got the temple, random events. Let's look at Frostbane liquid. Murky brown liquid that bubbles and fizzles when in contact with ice, melts ice rapidly. Poisonous 1d4 damage if touched and 1d6 damage if ingested. So you even have this little Bane liquid as well. So I think there's a lot in here. If you're playing OSR, you might even be able to convert this on your own to something else. But I think it's nice. I love the artwork, and it's also cool that you can potentially get two adventures for about $5. So check it out under Frozen Temple of Glacier Peak in the links below. Next, we have the Game Master's Book of Non-Player Characters with this really cool cover. I love this cover. Very, very distinct. And what's even better is that you can get it not only as a PDF, but as a printed book. You can do soft cover, both premium and standard color, and then you can do combinations of the book and PDF as well. And it's by Topics Media Lab, authors Jeff Ashworth and Jasmine Ballar. 320 pages, so that's a lot of pages for you. Says, from #1 best-selling author Jeff Ashworth comes the latest addition to the Game Master series with more than 500 NPCs ready to populate your campaign whenever you need them. As is often the case in tabletop role-playing games, players often venture into locales or look for answers in places and among people busy Game Masters simply didn't anticipate. Or just as often, an adventure won't have fully fleshed out characters in place for the locations and encounters outlined for gameplay. So this book solves those issues by providing more game information for game masters so they can fill in the blanks. It enables GMs to instantly add depth, color, motivation, and unique physical characteristics at a moment's notice with these characters. And there's 50 hand-drawn illustrations for select MP3s, 3 bonus one-shot adventures, and a foreword. So nice. But I really love this cover. I love that you can get it as printed as well. I really want to get this book. So you can see here, gorgeous layout. I just love the style of this. It's like a blueprint almost. And look at these beautiful illustrations. So yeah, you've got all this intro, then you got some one-shot adventures. So you get to see 20 of the 320 pages. So it goes right into the one-shots here, which are nicely laid out. We'll scroll back up and read some in a minute, but yeah, look at that gorgeous map with all your different locations. So you're getting adventures, NPCs. I mean, there's a lot on offer here. I'll read one of the early little flavor text here. So it says, "Sorry, I don't mean to pry," interrupts the elven woman, who takes a rolled cigarette from behind her ear and lights up, puffing smoke at all of you as if to create a smoke screen for her big debut. The smoke has a somewhat piney scent. As she exhales, the woman smiles and extends a bloody ash-covered hand. "Huzzah! Sindel Trushot, leader of the Low Elves and archer extraordinaire. What exactly makes you think you're qualified to take on a chimera? Do you know anything about them? How they move? How they attack? How much they enjoy playing with their food?" So fun dialogue, flavor text, characters, and presumably any character shown in these one-shots is going to be profiled in this book because it's all about having NPCs ready for you. So I think that's awesome. I mean, if you got it all prepped for you already, it's drag and drop ready to go. You can see here they've got it boiled down by small town tenants, big city denizens, outskirts and outposts, underdwellers, and then within that, various categories like common folk, nobles and leaders, law keepers, lawbreakers, oddballs, outsiders, and random NPCs. And then there's even a side quest generator, a random character generator. So love this. Definitely want to get it myself. So check it out in the links below under Game Master's Book of Non-Player Characters. Next we have Heroes of Solon, Greenhill. It's a 5th edition module for levels 5 to 7. And it's from Wildspire, which has a series of miniatures, so those might be helpful if you get this. It's a pay what you want price of $5 for 66 pages. It's for 5th edition. The Heroes of Solon is the first ever miniature-inspired D&D homebrew content created to complement the amazing fantasy miniatures by Wildspire. But presumably you can play this without those miniatures. Greenhill is a small rural town among the central plains of Sol-Ri-Mon with 6 heroic townfolk NPC-based quests for levels 4 to 7. Greenhill is a river town located among lush grasslands that extend south and west. The river originates at Dingonek Lake in the north, continuing south past Greenhill to the Barrier Sea. So nice little setting there. Setting information for Greenhill: 6 heroic townfolk NPC quests, homebrew monsters and items, and a gallery of art. So one thing you might add in here, authors, if you're watching, is whether or not you need the miniatures. I'm certain you don't, but it might be helpful to people that aren't watching this video to know that. Let's take a look inside. So nice wizard style layout. Here's the short quest modules. You get to see 4 of the 66 pages. So you can see here's one of the miniatures they have, but again, you can probably make your own. You could even make, your own VTT token probably from the pictures in here. So yeah, very cool looking. Here's an investigation check chart with the DCs and what you find out. This cool little, looks like a rod or something they've got. I like the artwork for that. And yeah, lots of options in here for quests. I like that this is just a short description for a quest and then another short description for a quest. So it's like fleshed out adventure hooks. So it kind of tells you everything that you need to do. So I like that. Very fun. And it's under Heroes of Solon in the links below. Check it out. Next we have Manor of Malice for 5th edition. It says a devilish adventure for a party of 3rd level characters from Dungeoneers Inc. at $2.95 for 11 pages. It says it's a short location-based adventure. It's campaign agnostic and can be inserted into any campaign. Your party will find themselves the new owner of an abandoned noble's estate, but not all is as it appears. Lurking within the walls of the stately home is a secret, a hidden shame that destroyed the previous owners and all who dwelt within. As the party uncovers the secrets that destroyed this once happy home, they will have to fight off demons, devils, and undead, and thwart a full-blown demonic invasion along the way before they can rest easy in their new abode. It includes maps for use at home or in your favorite VTT software and a printer-friendly copy. So very nice. Always good when you have the printer-friendly copy. So let's take a look inside at the 11 pages, and you get to see all 11. So that's quite nice. No reason not to check out this title when you're able to read basically the whole thing and determine if it works for you. If you do read it and like it and plan to use it, please make sure you purchase it to support these creators. All right. So yeah, nice wizard style layout, good artwork. You can see some cool maps of the manor, and oh yeah, it looks like a fun little battle map here. And there's even some handouts, so that's nice. I always like when adventures have that as well. So let's scroll back up and read a little more here. So you got the manor, general features. The Baron's estate has the following general features unless otherwise stated. Construction: the house is made of wood, stone, and plaster. It stands 2 stories tall. Okay, temperature: the house seems chilly and drafty regardless of the time of year or sources of heat. Doors: all doors are made of wood and have an AC of 15, HP of 6, and are immune to psychic and poison damage. Illumination: the windows are shuttered and are coated in a layer of grime, allowing only the faintest light in. The house is in total darkness, and the descriptions assume that the characters have light or other means of illumination. So very cool. Lots and lots of flavor text for each room. Some adventures skip that, so that's nice. If you're a newer DM especially, this would be helpful to have all these this flavor text. But I feel like they've thought of everything. They've really covered the bases with this manor and all the details of construction, even the doors, etc. So I think this is going to pretty much have everything you need in it. to run it, would fit well in Ravenloft, would fit well in pretty much any campaign. So check it out under Manor of Malice in the video description links. Next we have Marked for Slaughter from Cult Adventures. The cool black and white ominous cover. $14.99 for 56 pages for 5th edition. This adventure takes you deep into the underbelly of a sinister slaughterhouse and its ritualistic cult. From the outside, the slaughterhouse looks like you'd expect, but as your party of adventurers will soon find out, extreme horror lurks within. So it's a standalone adventure. It's perfect for a party of 4 player characters ranging between levels 7 to 9. So it's a challenging adventure, explores the mysterious ways of the Cult of the Flesh, their unsuspecting slaughterhouse and cannibalistic obsessions. There's a combination of roleplay, skill, and combat encounters as they uncover this sinister environment. For your party to be ready to venture forth, they should have an appetite for life-threatening, dangerous adventures. So I like this. This is another standalone adventure, and it's kind of got this wicked theme to it, which is cool. Might go well with the one we just looked at as well. You could start with that one and move to this one, or vice versa. I like that this is for levels 7 to 9, because a lot of what you see is for levels 1 and to 5 roughly. So it's nice that this is a little higher level as well. And I love this cover. Very, very cool. So we've got all the info here, including the table of contents. So, and the appendix includes items and gear, bestiary, maps for printing, etc. Happy Pig Slaughterhouse level A. So I'm not sure the pigs would be happy there, but it's a fun play on words. And you got all the undercover operation information. So you get to see 9 of the 56 pages, starting the quest, etc. Sounds really fun. So foreshadowing says, suppose you intend to play the Marked for Slaughter adventure later in your campaign. In that case, it is a good idea to insert hints about the cult's existence early on. So I like this. That's, more adventures should do this, especially if you're 7 to 9 in your level, because maybe they're starting with a party of level 1 in their campaign, hinting at random disappearances that happen involving poor or homeless people, exposing the player characters to the concept of flesh magic before they encounter the events of this adventure, referencing how the Happy Pig Butcher Shop, the cult's cover business, is reputed for selling the finest pork in town. So all kinds of cool little ways to foreshadow. Love that concept. So good job there. And looks like it's beautifully laid out. Nice artwork. Really good concept too of a slaughterhouse being a cover for something else, especially a cult. So if you're looking for an adventure along those lines, check out Marked for Slaughter in the links down below in the video description and give it a click. Next we have On the Crimson Trail from Adventure Bundles, and it's a level 9 adventure. It's got lots of exploration, some combat, and a little bit of roleplay. It says Hunt the Hunter in the Frozen North in this 5th edition compatible adventure. So I love that Adventure Bundles has that little guide on the cover of all their adventures. So Strathenberg Stronghold is one of the most isolated structures in the known world. Situated in the very north, where in the winter the snow covers the land, there are rarely any problems here, and these are mostly wildlife or weather related. The local guards who serve Baron Strathenberg have usually no problem dealing with such issues. In the past month or so, though, locals have begun to disappear, either during a hunting trip, on a firewood haul, or even while walking in the forest. So some scary disappearances going on. This one might also be a great one to tie into the last adventure we looked at. So lots of themed adventures with mysterious disappearances and things going on this week. It's got a player handout and printable item cards. So let's take a look inside. So you got your adventure hooks here, characters, and yeah, look at this cool map. I love this map. Zoom in on each of the little areas. So very good on the art here. Nice battle map. So several battle maps here. You've got the flavor text, so you get to see all the pages of the adventure. So there's all 23 pages are on display here. So definitely no reason not to check this out. See if it's going to work for you. See if you like what's inside. We've got some cool magic items in the back here. We'll read one of those in a second. But I love that you get to see everything here. So very helpful. And magic items with pictures for each one of them. So we'll read the Rod of the Sculptor here. It's a rod, it's very rare and requires attunement. While holding the rod, you can use an action once per day to cast Flesh to Stone or Greater Restoration. If both spells are cast on the same day, they will have their expected effect. But the material of the whole rod will magically transform into hard stone, and all its magical properties will cease to exist. Okay, so you want to be careful about when you choose to cast both of those. So, fun stuff in here. Like all the stat blocks they've got for the monsters, and these maps look really good too. So really, if you're in the market for a adventure of this level, I would encourage you to come read through the whole thing, see if it's going to work for you as a DM, and then give it a purchase, because why not? You can read the whole thing, see what's going on, give it a try. No reason not to, because just reading that would be free. And then if you like it, give it a purchase, and be sure to use the link in the video description for On the Crimson Trail. Next, we have Over the Next Hill 2, 6 ready-made settlements for your 5th edition game from 𝙤𝙤𝙦𝙬𝙤 or Ian Publishing. And it's available also as a book. So for $9.99 you get the PDF, but for $19.99 you can get the color book, or for the same price you can get both the PDF and the color book. It's 37 pages, and it says it's a compilation of Over the Next Hill. It's containing 6 small towns that can be dropped into any campaign with minimal preparation. Each settlement is 4 to 5 pages long and presents several NPCs, points of interest, and loose plot hooks that can be developed during play. So here's the 6 different towns. Gives you a little paragraph description about each one. So we'll just read a couple of these. Summerwine Creek. Summer is here, and with it comes Summerwine Creek, an idyllic village with an otherworldly secret. What is behind the settlement's endless festivities? And then we've got Gazebo Bay, another plug-in location ready to be inserted into your 5th edition campaign. Gazebo Bay is a tropical island and a place to recuperate after an arduous adventure. Ambrose Ingram brings you NPCs like Chef Bosco and Big E Appleby, and a description of the island and its various areas. And then you've got the Medieval Lord's Manor. Baronies and fiefdoms are a staple of medieval fantasy, playing a role in many of our games and worlds. Says this is the barony of Alexander O'er Middleton, providing a perfect example of the usual rulers, subordinates, and culture to be found in a medieval state. Included are stats for the baron, his reeve, and the local miller, as well as rumors and plot hooks alongside a custom map of the Middleton lands. So various options for little towns. Be nice maybe to have this on hand so you can just quickly grab it. If you get the printed book, then you can have it, literally sitting at your table to pop in one of these towns at a moment's notice, right? So that's a good option. And it's under Over the Next Hill on the links in the video description, so give it a click and try it out. Next we have Parasite is My Name, Infection is My Game, a third-party compendium with 5 Parasite-themed weapons from Sorchi Games, and it's from Mork Borg. It's pay what you want at 50 cents only, recommended for 5 pages. And it says it's pretty much everything that we read on the cover. It says why? Because it's fun and probably will weird out players, so that's good. Let's take a look inside. So you get, as always with Mork Borg, there's some fun layout twists and different artwork, so lots of color, which I like. That's one thing I really appreciate about Mork Borg, is it's bringing so much different looks to this genre. I mean, it's just, you don't expect to see things look like this with all this color and landscape and all that stuff. So if nothing else, they're fun to look at. You get to see all 5 pages, so definitely no excuse to not check this one out if you're considering playing Mork Borg. And based on how this is set up, I'm guessing you could probably use this with other things with minor tweaks, because it's all little infectious items. So let's look at Sting on a Stick. An enraged female inferno bug tied to a shaft with a piece of string, smaller specimens for arrows, and large old queens for spears. Stick the pointy end in a foe, d6 damage plus test toughness On failure, poison damage, infected, roll a d6. The bug plants a larva on the result of a 5 or a 6. If needed, remove the larva with a sharp tool. Lots of tests for toughness and presence. Otherwise, the larva turns into a bug in 6 days and up to 6 days and then bursts through the skin. The host tests toughness or damage. On fumbles with this weapon, the bug dies. So, cool looking artwork for the sphere with the bug on the end of it. So you could even just tweak this concept into, 5th edition sting on a stick, basically. Yeah, you'd have to come up with stats on your own, but I think you could use a lot of these concepts for 5th edition if you want, because it's really inexpensive. I mean, 50 cents for these ideas and this cool artwork. I don't know if you show, as a DM, you show the artwork to your players of what it looks like, but you could do that because they've illustrated each of the 5 ones here, so definitely consider it. Looks like a fun time for Mork, Borg, and beyond. Parasite is my name in the video description links. Give it a click. Next we have Runecairn, Beneath the Broken Sword by Colin Lasore and Odin's Beard. It's $3 and it's 12 pages. It says, the world as you knew it is gone, destroyed in the war that was. You awake in crumbling ruins, lost and trapped in a cycle of death. You must seek the fire and escape to weave your own fate. It's an introductory dungeon crawl adventure for Norse fantasy TTRPG Runecairn, which we've talked about Runecairn in one of our past week videos. It's a very cool looking adventure. It's OSR style, cool little Nordic influences, etc. It says the adventurer must navigate the Cave of Echoes, retrieve their weapons and equipment, acquire their mead flask, and overcome the stone demon to escape further into the 9 realms. It says designed to be played with 1 warden and 1 player. So we talked earlier in this week's video about duet play. So again, another option for duet play here. Love that. 12 dungeon rooms, 1 new monster, and so you can see some of the interiors here. It looks so nice. Love the artwork and the flow. So you got your monster here and some of the omens that are going on. So lots of fun stuff. And let's take a look inside. So beautiful cover art. Look at that nice map. Get to see all 12 pages. So yet another one where you really have no reason not to take a look and see if it works for you. But yeah, I like this. I like the art. I like what they're doing. All the Nordic stuff is so much fun. And I mean, it just never goes out of style. People always will like Nordic and Viking and Norse stuff for sure. So if you're in the market for OSR, I think this could be a good option for you. So let's read a little bit about the background here. In a long forgotten age, a raging war shattered and devastated the worlds of gods and men. Now green life blooms amidst the ruins of lost worlds. Wondrous and terrible beings roam the 9 realms. Civilization stumbles forward, fresh and reaching. Fate weaves the sky anew, but there are loose threads lost long ago in the wars, with no place in the tapestry. These threads must seek the fire within and weave their own path. So as you wake in an echoing cave lit by a warm, waning bonfire, with little memory of who you are or how you arrived here. You wear your armor but carry no weapons or items. As you venture further into the cave and find your scattered equipment, you start to regain fragments of lost memory. So fun little setup. Again, it's for duet play, so I think you can have a lot of fun with this. And no shortage of art. Sometimes these titles have very little art, and it's nice to see so much art here, especially if it's duet play, because then you could presumably sit side by side and just show the book to someone that you're playing with and just show them the image that you want them to see. So lots of fun awaits you in Runecairn, Beneath the Broken Sword. Check it out in the links below. Give it a click. Next we have Secret Bastard Dungeon from Monkey Paw Games and author N. Mask, and it's a pay what you want price of $5. And it says Duke Ňignard spent decades tirelessly in the pursuit of forbidden magics to produce the perfect heir. When he at last succeeded, she had him assassinated almost immediately by breaking him up in his secret laboratory. Centuries later, rumors persist that beneath the ruins of Lady 𝘽𝙤 summer palace lies the old duke's dungeon, haunted by the lady's bastard siblings. Well, that was my tongue twister for the day. It says it's a little coffin, and it's compatible with Brighthammer, Bastards, the vanilla game, Pink Hack, and other OSR. So very cool little tongue twister they gave me there. Let's go inside and read more about it. So nice typography. Got a little flowchart of the adventure here, talking about the 𝘽𝙤 inheritance. And here's the summer palace. Fun. They're having some fun with the layout, which I appreciate. I like also when the pages are a single column. You don't see that much, but sometimes it can be really fun and easier to read that way. You get to see 6 of the 14 pages. So here we have a glass curio case, remains of a menagerie, shattered glass crunches underfoot. The air is stale and unnaturally chill. A rectangular room lined with a mildew-infested carpet and half a dozen wooden plinths that once acted as display cases. They have long since been smashed. Atop the plinths are a series of objects that look valuable at first glance, but upon closer inspection are worthless. So, and then this is a list of all the different possibilities. So you've got alicorn, world spiral with a pearlite finish, just a painted aurochs horn, pig porcelain false eye with iris painted upside down, writing brush with an ivory handle. The ivory is lacquer painted tibia. So lots of fun descriptions here. You can even use that elsewhere. Fun little table. So yeah, it looks like there's some cool stuff in here, and I love all the artwork and the flow of it. Easy to read. So check it out under Secret Bastard Dungeon in the links below. Give it a click. Next we have The Secret of Strangelight Hall by MT Black for 5th edition. It's $2.95, and it's already a best silver seller in this first week. MT Black is very well known for quality material and quite popular, so I'm not surprised to see it already a best silver seller. That's awesome. And here's some quotes about people's experience with the book. It says, weird magic and wondrous tricks await in this adventure for the world's greatest role-playing game. Strangelight Hall is an ancient mansion that stands on the edge of a lonely and dangerous moor. The owner has already gone missing, and the mansion is now filled with weird magic, unsettling haunts, and bizarre creatures. But there are greater powers at work and a deeper mystery at hand. It will require all of your courage and wit to unravel the secret of Strangelight Hall. It's a 4 to 8 hour adventure for 1st through 4th level characters. It has been thoroughly playtested, requires minimal prep, and can be easily used with any 5th edition campaign. So let's take a look. You get to see 19 of the 54 pages. So you got your adventure overview, contents, adjusting the image. This is very, very nice. I really, really like this. So it's got a whole little section here, how to optimize it. So, and you're listing the party composition and then the party strength, and then how to adjust it. So very, very helpful. And then you've got a whole background on the adventure, some adventure hooks, and then here's the Strangelight Village, details on that. So all kinds of stuff, beautiful maps. Yeah, I can see why this is sold well. It's got a lot of stuff already that I could see that people would like to use. Encounter summary, approaching, location overview, people, Green Dragon Inn, all that stuff. Let me go back up here and read a little bit. So it says, many centuries ago, 𝙁𝙬, god of tricks, was wandering across the moors one dark evening when he stumbled over a stone. As he hobbled around with an aching foot, 𝙁𝙬 vowed to find a way to light the moors. Sometime later, a young mystic named Ion approached 𝙁𝙬 and begged the god to grant him 2 things, great power and eternal life. 𝙁𝙬 said he would do so if Ion agreed to serve the god unquestioningly for 20 years. Ion readily agreed, and 𝙁𝙬 gave him an ancient grimoire full of magical secrets. Ion became a powerful wizard, and many consider him the forefather of all wizards in Seneca. He served 𝙁𝙬 faithfully for 40 years and then approached the god and asked for him to fulfill their bargain. The smirking god said, I will indeed grant you immortality, then transformed Ion into a will-o-wisp and placed him on the moors to haunt and light the place forever. 𝙁𝙬 has repeated his bargain many times since, granting powerful magic and the promise of endless life in exchange for obedient service. The moors are now decorated each night with colorful bobbing lights, and the nearby village of Strangelight takes its name from the phenomenon. So, fun little intro to how these people unwittingly became will-o-wisps and are now floating around this area. So that's a sign of what to expect. Some inventive, creative writing in here, and looks like a fun time with all sorts of stuff that helps prepare you to run this adventure with an easy to read layout, lots of useful artwork, stats, everything you need to feel confident that you can run the adventure. Just knowing that backstory we read, you can kind of weave that into the story whenever you want as the DM. So it looks like more quality work from MT Black. So look for Secret of Strangelight Hall in the links below and give it a click. Next we have Thrones and Bones campaign setting, Norrongard by Lou Anders and Lazy Wolf Studios, $29.99 for 5th edition at 232 pages. So quite a lot of pages, but that's good because this is a campaign setting and we always want more and more information when it comes to campaign settings. It says, a land beset by undead horrors, marauding trolls, mercurial spirits, and monstrous beasts. In such a danger-fraught and challenging environment, heroes emerge to perform deeds worthy of the Scalds and those who don't meet an early demise as a troll's breakfast or a Lenorm's lunch. Carve out new domains or conquer existing ones. Earn your honor exploring the cold heights of Ymerian mountain range and the dark forest of Ravenswood. The Throne and Bones campaign setting draws upon mythology and the novels of Lou Anders. Inside these pages you will find everything you need to play a campaign in Norrongard, setting of the novel Frostborn. So very cool. It's tied into some novels. Maybe you've read those novels or maybe you'll want to read them after this. I love when RPGs tie into books because books are something you can do by yourself to read, right? So maybe you can go read one of the novels in between play sessions and just kind of get the feel like you're playing again, feel like you're in the setting, and it doesn't require a table full of people, right? So I like that. It gives you that option. But inside this book, they've got 3 new ancestries, 8 new subclasses, 2 new backgrounds, 3 new feats, 10 Neronian towns, new spells and magic items, a brand new system of rune magic, a system for tracking honor, 37 new creatures and monsters, 2 complete adventures, and pages of lore. So, and then there's a map pack you can get separately, and they even have a video on it. So really nice. Definitely would recommend watching that. But 232 pages, that's quite a lot. Let's take a look at what they've got in the free preview here. 12 pages to see, but look at this gorgeous map of the locations. Got the Dwarven Ruins, all sorts of fun stuff, Dragon's Wood, and looks like multiple pages of the beautiful map here, and then table of contents. So you got life in the area, peoples, places and perils, heroes, spells, rune magic, honor, a bestiary with lots of creatures, adventures, and an index. So even class options and ancestries here. You got your intros, so we'll go back and read a little bit of that in a minute. Life in Norrongard, and got a timeline even. So yeah, lots of fun stuff to be had in here. Yeah, I like this. Beautiful artwork. Naming conventions. Yeah, if you're looking for a brand new setting, this might be a good one for you. It says, welcome to the world of Couatl. Couatl is an old world built for new heroes. It's a place of monsters and magic, a place where the deceit of the human heart may be worse than a dragon's bite, where a young person's bravery might turn the tide of war or change the course of nations. So cool classic feel to it. I like that. It says it's a setting for my Thrones and Bones trilogy. So there's a trilogy of books, it looks like, as well as for an additional novel and many other tales yet to be told. It says, in a way, it's the world I've been heading toward my whole life. I grew up reading sword and sorcery and epic fantasy from a young age, delighting in the accounts of Conan, Bilbo, Elric, etc. So, if you like those tales, you can pick up this whole campaign setting inspired by that. So, check it out under Thrones and Bones in the links below. Give it a click and a try, and have fun. Next, we have Tomb of the Alchemist for Old School Essentials by Michael Hohenstein or Michael H. Stone here. And it's $4 for 20 pages. It's a short dungeon and canyon crawl through the tomb of an undead alchemist of a bygone age. It features 14 locations, 3 versions of the map, atmospheric track, so you get some audio to enjoy as well. It's designed for OSR for character levels 2 to 4 and should fill about 1 to 2 evenings. Can you stop Hr, alchemist of Sargon, before he unleashes a terrible plague upon the borderlands? So very cool, interesting setup with an alchemist. Let's take a look inside. So there's 20 pages. You get to see 5 of them here. So you got the intro. Some wandering monsters. That's always good. I like all those details for the wandering monsters. Then you got your map key with all the locations for the canyon crawl. So cool. Let's read some of the flavor text here for the canyon. The canyon stretches out before you, obviously a symptom of recent earthquake. It is littered with rocks and debris. In the red cliffs, you can barely make out the signs of construction, and at the far end of the canyon, the remains of a structure catch your eye. So, cool little intro there to the canyon. But again, I love these wandering monsters and random mutations that you can add to the monsters to mix them up a little bit. And then there's some rumors, background. So yeah, let's read one of the random rumors here. There are whispers of the awakening of an ancient leader of Sargon, 𝘏𝙪 the alchemist, master of poisons. It is said that his concoctions are so terrible that even the dead pity the poison. Wow, that's pretty bad then. if the dead are worried about people. So very cool. I like the feel of this, the look of this. Very much fits within OSR. And I noticed when I was picking the titles for this week that there are other variations of this title available for other systems. I didn't see a 5th edition one, but I did see some other systems. So if you're playing other systems, you might also look for Tomb of the Alchemist. But if you click that link, you can find those probably pretty quickly by clicking on Michael H. Stone and looking at the other titles offered by Michael. So that's the last drive-through title for the week. Before we get to the DM's Guild, just a reminder, my book, Feywild Companion, comes out Monday, the 20th of September. And right now, there are teasers going on my Twitter, so follow me at Splinterverse to check those out every day. We've released quite a few. We're going to release more teasers every day until we get to the release day. Also, please like the video, subscribe, share the video out, and click those links in the video description to help support all these wonderful creators we've shown this week, as well as the channel. We get a little bit of a royalty every time you click one of the links. Even if you click the links and buy something else, that helps a lot. And consider purchasing one of our books, Potions Unlocked, which is print on demand and PDF on DriveThru. It's got all kinds of things for potions, takes them to the next level, makes them no longer boring, and probably an essential part of your campaign with our potion locations, vendors, and new rules for potions. Also, I've got Van Richten's Librum of Lineages, which gives you optional rules for handling lineages, which are a new thing, so you need those optional rules to help support your execution of those, as well as 4 new mysterious lineages that work in any setting, not just Ravenloft. So check those out. Those are also linked in the video description below. So now on to DM's Guild. Our first DM's Guild title for the week is 5th edition Plant Harvesting Guide by Jared Lavorne and Vicky Eve Lavorne. And it is pay what you want price at a suggested price of 0 for 52 pages. So that's quite a lot of pages for free. It says this guide provides a list of herbs, weeds, leaves, and other tree parts, including aquatic plant life that can be harvested and used. It includes a remake of the herbalist toolkit and skill, and many item cards and imagery. And includes the name of localized herbalist NPCs to be used, along with an adaptable herbalist NPC sheet. Harvestables can be used as craftables as the DM sees fit, or included in rare search quests. So let's take a look inside. So it's got information on finding, identifying plants, herbalist kit, notes on alchemy, buying and selling plants, common plants, uncommon, rare, etc., and special plants. So all kinds of information, rules on how to find them, identifying, notes on alchemy, all that good stuff. If you know me, you know I love plants. I have plants in my potions book. So I think this is fun, giving you some rules here and helpful information on different things, like even an acorn, how much it would go for, what you can use it for, food, etc., notes on alchemy. So let's see. It says, for common plants, it is the DM's discretion whether identification is required or if the plant is automatically identified. Difficulty in identifying plants works by the tier as follows. So then they have their own DC level for identifying plants. I did a similar thing in the potions book. Herbalist kit. An herbalist kit consists of a large pouch that is segmented and often worn at the hip. Attached is a set of 3 small shears used to cut plants, a small hand shovel to dig roots, and a pair of gloves are kept in the compartment, resistant to spines and offering full protection from poisons. A small cloth piece is also folded to wear on one's face to protect from spores and other vapor some plants may have. The main compartment is used to store collected plants. So that's really cool. The herbalist kit, you don't get a ton of description in the official rulebooks, just a little bit. So this fleshes that out a little bit. It says proficiency with the herbalist kit can be granted by the DM at will or acquired during intensive studying. And then here's the formula for, intelligence plus proficiency, double proficiency score if the player has proficiency with the kit itself, and some more information on the proficiency here. So definitely helping you. Maybe you have a player who's like, I want to be an herbalist. I want to mine this stuff. I'm used to doing this kind of thing in video games, and where's my opportunity to harvest all these things that I'm surely traipsing on as I go through the wilderness here. So I think it's fun, and it's free in the suggested price, although you can pay something since it is available here. And whenever you pay what you want 0, you can always go back to that title and then put money in there and pay what you want again, and it'll be like tipping the author. So you always have that as an option too. So looks like lots of fun. Check it out under 5e Plant Harvesting Guide in the links below. Next we have 𝙬𝙬𝙧𝙬𝙧, a collection of complex traps. It's already in its first week a best copper seller. It's by a bunch of authors, including Mark Anderson, Tal Avizar, Bianca Bickford, Andy Dimps, and others. And it says D&D Celebration 2021 kicked off with the Dungeon Master's Challenge, and the first stage of entry was creating a complex trap. As participants, we devised these traps over a few days. While we didn't advance in the competition, these dastardly creations are worthwhile challenges for your table, ranging from painful to lethal. These traps take on their own life of their own, some literally. So yeah, Wizards of the Coast had a Dungeon Master Challenge, and people submitted traps as their first sort of part of the gauntlet. And so these creators wisely grouped all their traps together into a book for others, and I think that was a smart choice. It says, in fact, these traps even attracted the attention of the Master of Traps, 𝙬𝙬𝙧𝙬𝙧. These traps would be completely at home in the Tomb of Horrors, so the Master Lich added them to his devious collection. And then you've got all the people involved here, and maps, individual trap PDFs, and map files. So let's take a look inside. So I like the cool layout. Got some fun design elements and borders going on. And then here's a little map and some information on this particular trap. So this is one trap. So Andy Dimps' trap here for level 1 to 4, dangerous threat. So it's presented in a cool way where you've got pages devoted to a singular trap, all the information you need, and maps and supporting information, how that, because these are some involved traps, right? They submitted these for the Dungeon Master Challenge. These aren't going to be just like a little 2-second thing, right? You're going to have a little bit more to it. So this says the chambers of Undermountain to the east of the Hall of Heroes were briefly controlled by a half-elf named Zar, an adventurer who was stricken with magical megalomania, betrayed his companions, and united the normally contentious kobolds and goblins into Zar's invincible army. Despite their grandiose name, Zar and his forces were dispatched by a party of adventurers, and the surviving kobolds and goblins returned to life as it had been. The goblins dispersed throughout the dungeon, and many of their descendants joined the Xanathar Guild. The kobolds were able to claim the chambers beyond the Green Door for themselves and set to work installing traps so that they would never be coerced into working with the likes of goblins again. And then it goes into more about the trap. So that's some backstory that you can use, or you can just make this trap somewhere else, maybe in a place of your own creation. But because they're giving you so much information in this book on the map here and the triggers and what's involved, and then all the different things that happen on initiative counts, you can have a lot of fun with these traps. Put them anywhere. They don't have to be in the background described. But what's nice is because they are giving you that background, you can use it if you want. So really good job putting this together, and smart move, taking all these traps you guys have come up with and combining them into what's already a copper bestseller, so it sold a lot of copies already. I mean, who can't use traps? Some DMs really hate dealing with them, right? So having them already made is such a helpful thing. So I definitely recommend checking out this book under Acerak's collection of complex traps in those links below. Give it a click. Next, we have Adventurer's Guide to 𝙤𝙤. It's a player's guide to the Land of Fate, and it's by GM Lint, Brock Sayer, Molly Parker, and it's completely free. You can't even pay for it if you wanted to. I've already grabbed it. It's 14 pages. Everything you wanted to know about creating a 𝙤𝙤 character in 5th edition, but we're afraid to ask, because it goes with this campaign guide to 𝙤𝙤, which is a really cool 𝙁𝙤𝙀 location, and it's a very popular book that's out there. So you don't necessarily need that book to use this. I'm sure there's useful stuff without it, but it is helpful to have that book as well. A lot of people have that, so you can consider that book as well if you do enjoy what you find within. But it says it walks you through making a character based on the classic 𝙁𝙤𝙀 setting, and following the format of the 5th edition player's handbook. It walks you through selecting race or ancestry, a character class, and even other options such as subclasses, kits, and archetypes, drawing from a growing list of 5th edition sources. So let's take a look inside, and because it is pretty much free, you get to see 17 pages worth of material here. So you've got all the information here, beautiful, like the original book. Get this beautiful border, nice maps, look at how 𝙤𝙤 looks, get the general feel of where all the places are, and then an intro, and then creating this 𝙤𝙤 character, races, ancestries, new subclasses that are recommended and where they are. So the campaign guide or the Clockwork Mage or these other books. So really kind of unifying some of the 𝙁𝙀 stuff that's out there, which is nice because Wizards isn't releasing anything on it, or at least that we know about. So it's nice that somebody is not only releasing stuff for 𝙁𝙀, but kind of unifying it with a book like this and saying, okay, here's your other 𝙁𝙀 sources out there. You can use those. So you got information on the places, gods and faiths, all that stuff in here, equipment. So we'll read just a little bit here. 𝙤𝙤 characters can be of any race or ancestry your dungeon master allows. People in 𝙤𝙤 place far greater value on a character's actions than their appearance or bearing, so some races considered monstrous in other lands, such as goblins, orcs, and even ogres, find a much greater degree of acceptance in 𝙤𝙤. Since most of 𝙤𝙤 shares the same general cultural, racial enclaves and kingdoms are virtually unknown, while major cities may have an elf neighborhood or a gnome village within them, such occurrences are rare. While individual dwarves may prefer the company of other dwarves to the company of halflings or gnomes, for example, 𝙤𝙤ans by and large react to the characters based on their behavior, not their lineage. So very nice background on how the races interact in 𝙤𝙤. So it's free, no reason not to grab this, and check it out. So click the link Adventurer's Guide to 𝙤𝙤 in those video description links. Next we have Arcanus Fundare, Lesson 1, Feats, Metamagic, and Spells, from James Hund for $6.95 at 17 pages. It says, ever wonder what it would be like to encounter the Nether Scrolls? Well, this sourcebook attempts to do just that. You'll have access to the first of a series of sourcebooks focusing on the Nether Scrolls and possibly what they could contain. This one, Arcanus Fundare, will focus on new types of magic, spells, metamagic, and feats. With this book, you get 5 feats, 10 metamagic options, and 14 interesting spells. So let's take a look inside. So we got a fun cover, and you got your table of contents, intro, and so that's what you get to see in the 4 pages out of the 17. So it talks about all the scrolls on Toril. It says the scrolls originally consisted of 2 sets of 50, were nigh indestructible and covered every subject imaginable considering magic. When the Netherese Empire found them, they immediately used the scrolls for their own ends. Through the scrolls' teachings, the Netherese Empire gained such an enormous boost in power in such a short amount of time that their wisdom in handling such power couldn't keep up. They used the power contained within the scrolls for mostly selfish reasons. So, got a nice backstory lore to, what is really a presentation of some feats and spells. So I like that the author is not just publishing spells and feats. They've got kind of a backstory of where these came from and tying into some lore and stuff. So, some people really like lore, and giving players and readers the option to have both lore and the mechanical stuff is always nice, because that adds something. It makes it a little bit more than just, here's my spells, have at it. I think it's nice to tie those in. So good job on that. Check this book out on Arcanus Fundare in the links below. Next, we have Arid Ruin, a short adventure for 4th to 6th level characters with this really awesome cover. The author is Van Dang, and it's a pay what you want. Suggested price of $3. It says, a blight, a swarm of locusts, a lonely border town is seeking aid to curtail these foreboding events. All signs point to a recently unearthed ruin in the middle of the desert. It has been dubbed the Arid Ruin. Can the party trek across the scorching and inhospitable desert to brave the trials within and end the source of the curse? Or will they succumb to the horrors inside and allow those denizens to plague the world around it? This adventure is a desert theme with Egyptian and Githyanki elements and a few nods to other iconic bits of pop culture. Players will be able to explore the ruins and attempt to glean who the previous occupants were. It's estimated to last 3 to 5 sessions. You get maps, modified stat blocks of iconic creatures, 7 new magical items, 1 ridiculous spell to make sure that friend doesn't get left out, and 6 new ways to deceive and maim your players. So some fun little descriptions there. Let's take a look inside. So you get to see 8 of the 33 pages. So you got the intro here, you got your table of contents, venture hook, history, part 1, the trek. Shura. This small town lies at the edge of the desert, situated on firmer and rockier ground. Due to the terrain, water is a scarce commodity for all of its inhabitants, and all the imported goods to this remote town make it a costly place to live. Many use the city as a stopping point to try to excavate the riches hidden in the desert. Those who live here are often thieves, outcasts, vagrants, or even refugees with nowhere else to go. So, very cool setup here. This could even work well with Zahara that we looked at earlier, Zakara, because you've got the desert feel to it. And yeah, it says not a fan of survival. Hand wave this section. This section can be particularly long as it's designed to emphasize the struggles of desert travel in a hex crawl-like manner. It's okay to skip or condense this section if the group does not enjoy the survival aspects of D&D. So that's nice. They're kind of telling you up front, hey, you can take this long route and enjoy the survival part of it with fatigue and all that good stuff, or you can just hand wave it away and say you made it through. More books should do that and give you that option. So seems like a lot of fun. Love the gorgeous art on the cover, and it's definitely different than what I'm used to seeing out here. So I like where this is headed. So check out Arid Ruin on DM's Guild by clicking the link below. Next, we have Curse of Strahd Atop Mount Ghakis, an adventure supplement for Chapter 9, Tosalinka Pass, from Daniel Kahn and Michael Rosenthal for $2.95 for 13 pages. A strange connection to the early conquest of Count Strahd van Zarovich, the Order of the Silver Dragon and the Wild Folk is hidden atop Mount Ghakis. At one of its icy peaks roosts a fearsome rock, known to carry away entire wagons as they attempt to cross the Luna River. This cold and unforgiving peak towers over Tosalinka Pass, marking the site of horrors committed long ago. The few surviving adventurers and wild folk who have dared to climb the peak report sightings of a horrific goat larger than a warhorse, blood dripping from its horns. Will the heroes reverse one of Strahd's acts of corruption, or will their bones join the pile that forms the rock's nest? So, in Chapter 9 of Curse of Strahd, Tosalinka Pass introduces an intriguing location typically visited en route to the Amber Temple. Other than a few mundane monster encounters and perhaps a brief appearance from a rock and an intelligent ghost, Tosalinka Pass and the ominous Mount Ghakis are never fleshed out. Strahd can teleport to one of the guard towers of Tosalinka Pass, but the campaign provides little reason why he would ever do such a thing. So it says, what if the rock of Mount Ghakis was dominated by Strahd to defeat the Order of the Silver Dragon and compelled to keep adventurers from reaching the Amber Temple? So lots of ways to weave this in. It's nice when authors are taking maybe just a barely touched upon part of a published Wizards adventure and expanding upon it, giving you that direction to go if you want to just flesh out Curse of Strahd even further. And it says it includes 4 adventure hooks, a new revised NPC, a new location, VTT maps, and monsters from Van Richten's guide. And then the adventure summary is here. It says the adventure starts as the party makes their way through Tussalinka Pass. As they cross the stone bridge over the Luna River, the rock of Mount Ghakis swoops down, grabs a character, and flies off toward the peak of Mount Ghakis. The party must complete a series of skill checks as they climb the mountain. After some time, they have an encounter with a savage goat who is more than he seems. So, fun little setup there. You got some previews here of the interiors. Nice little map here. And it says they've got VTT versions of these maps. Another cool map of the Rock's Nest. So, fun stuff here. I think it's a really good supplement to your Curse of Strahd goodness. And can't hurt to keep fleshing it out. You never know which way your characters are going to try to go on you. So if you're playing Curse of Strahd, or you just want to mix it up the next time you play it through, maybe you've got multiple groups and you're going to play Curse of Strahd a second time, this can give you some new stuff to plug in there. Or maybe some of these characters have played it before and they're trying not to spoil it for their other players. You can say, you didn't go to Mount Ghakis last time, did you? And kind of mix it up a little bit. So check it out. Click Atop Mount Ghakis in the links below. Next we have D&D Rebalanced Classes and Subclasses by David Pinsel at $14.99 for 124 pages. It says breathe new life into your D&D characters with rebalanced versions of every official class and subclass. Experience new class and subclass features that capture the spirit and theme of the class or subclass in ways that are both mechanically appropriate and inspire amazing roleplay. Rediscover subclasses that often go ignored, now made competitive with the best subclasses in the game. Purpose of this book is to rebalance the official classes and subclasses in light of the release of newer subclasses, spells, and features. The changes made here are intended to preserve the spirit and theme of the original classes and subclasses while making corrections or improvements to problematic or underperforming features, so that every class and subclass may be equally rewarding to play. Only features that have been changed are included here because of copyright restrictions. So that's important to note. But you can see they go through basically everything. You've got all the different classes with all the different subclasses and features. And you can see a little bit more of it here. So here's Circle of the Land. When you choose this circle at second level, your mystical connection to the land infuses you with the ability to cast certain spells. You gain access to circle spells connected to the type of land you are attuned to. Choose that land, Arctic, coast, desert, forest, etc., and consult the associated list of spells. Whenever you finish a long rest in one of these lands, you may choose to attune to it, swapping the spells granted to you by this feature to those associated with the land you are now attuned to. So I'm assuming the bold is where things have been changed. You can kind of see how the language is being modified here. And then you can see various spells being swapped in and out with the bold here. And that's just one change. And they're showing you how land stride has changed, nature stride has changed. And it's listing various things for that. And then arcane shot options reworked. So lots and lots of stuff. I mean, they've touched every single class and subclass, it seems like, with this description here. So let's take a look inside. You get to see 8 of the 124 pages. But I mean, just that page count alone, I mean, all the changes that are needed. It's going to take a lot of pages to cover all that, right? So you can already see. But see here in the table, they're bolding what's changed here. They've got replenish resources is a feature of the first level instead of what it was before. And then they're pointing you to the pages in the official books where necessary. So, or I guess replenish resources wasn't around before. Now here it is. It's a new feature. So at first level, you can take time to replenish some of your sources of magical power, such as mixing chemicals. Once per day, when you finish a short rest, you can choose expended spell slots to replenish. The spell slots can have a combined level that is equal to or less than half of your artificial level. For example, if you're a 4th level artificer, you can recover up to 2 levels worth of spell slots. You can recover either a 2nd level spell slot or 2 1st level spell slots. So nice. And then this has been changed. So you get to, it says new, changed, reworked, whatever it is, right? And then bold again, helping you find where things have been altered. So definitely, if you thought anything was underpowered or overpowered or needed balancing, this might be something to check out. D&D Rebalanced is the name, and it's in the links below, so give it a click. Next, we have 𝙬𝙬𝙀, a visitor's guide from Arcane Impact with a suggested price of $2 on Pay What You Want for 3 pages. And this author has done various visitor's guides to places in the Forgotten Realms. So if you like this book or are interested in another area, you might check out other titles from Arcane Impact. So it says 𝙬𝙬𝙀 was once the center of trade and agriculture of Elturgard. More recently, the center of Torm worship was wiped off the map by the very companion which rose the city to fame. This is a collection of pre-filled versions of the complete city sheet with custom labeled maps to help your party orient themselves within 𝙬𝙬𝙀 before or after the city's fall into Avernus. With these handouts, as your party can easily chart their own course through a shopping day or scope out a guild or faction that may help them in their quest, these sheets can slot seamlessly into any Baldur's Gate Descendant of Avernus campaign or any campaign set in Forgotten Realms. Information on points of interest, custom labeled maps, classic landmarks, and entirely customizable. So let's take a look inside. As you can see, it's got the little sheet on the city, so all the information, where the various things are, and then the map down below, as well as more information on the landmarks, and then another map. And this sheet, if you like it, is also available from Arcane Impact as well. So if you're interested in finding out about 𝙬𝙬𝙀, any of the other visitor guides, or even that sheet, click on the link for 𝙬𝙬𝙀 Visitor's Guide and come here, and you can see more from the titles contributor down here, as well as click Arcane Impact if needed to get to that sheet. All right, on to the next title, which is The Escapist, a magical one-shot. It's from Cheesecake DM with a suggested price of $2 on Pay What You Want for 5 pages. It says, need a quick one-shot for level 6 characters? Want to spice up your game? You and your party have taken a quest by Miss Lily, a wizard who creates all sorts of magical experiments and potions. Just when she is about to show you her latest discovery, it's escaped. Will the party be able to hunt it down? Could it terrorize the town? And so let's take a look inside. Love the front cover artwork. Really, really beautiful. So it says the players have been hired by a wizard obsessed with her work. The wizard recently discovered a dead body, but this body was not like any other. It had purple veins below its neck and a large unnatural bump on its forehead. It twitched and walked away like it was alive. The wizard, Miss Lily Gunovera, has now captured the body and plans to experiment on it, but to do so she needs assistance. So that's kind of a cool setup, and you've got all this information. You get to see the whole book in the preview, so you can decide if it's worth your time. But it looks like a lot of fun. You know, I love potions. Did a whole book on them, so can be a cool, fun time here to have this little adventure going on with potion fun and chasing people and trying to help this alchemist get things going. So check it out under The Escapist. It's actually under E for Escapist in the links below. Give it a click and have fun. Next we have Guesting at Artifice Manor by Sviatoslav Dimchenko for $3.95 for 57 pages. It says, a genius inventor, Anthony Karstark, founder of the Karstark Inventions, has recently reached a new level of reclusiveness when he stops showing up at his company events. A concerned friend and employee, Holly Amberfell, hires an adventuring party to figure out what happened to him. As adventurers enter and explore the quarantine manor of the great inventor, they have to deal with his mechanic inventions, figure out minor properties or mysteries of past and present, and finally face Anthony himself, changed by strange disease into slod spawn. So it's 8 to 10 hour long mystery and exploration. It should take 2 playing sessions, optimized for 4 to 5 characters of 8 to 10 levels, and it can be used to kick off a campaign exploring the origins and history of slods. It says, a manor of rich, enigmatic inventor to explore, full of unusual constructs and minor inventions, a menagerie of new monsters, constructs, and new versions of slods, and a slod disease to explore, a host of unusual but likable NPCs, fate of which is completely in the hands of the players, high quality and high detail battle maps, So, and then it's got various things. If it reaches certain metals, what they'll add to the book. So that's always helpful with stretch goals. And then here's some sample pages. As you can see, it's a very nice wizard style layout. Let's take a look inside. So you got your table of contents, all your setups, and then you've got magic items, minor inventions, encounters, stat blocks, timeline, slot spawns, parasite, and optional clues, as well as maps at the end. So really fun stuff. Let's take a look down here. You've got gathering the clues up here, and some artwork for the clay elite guards and various things going on. So let's go up here and read some of this. It says, do not disturb the guests. This encounter happens as adventurers approach the 𝙬𝙤 Manor. At some point, following the path to 𝙬𝙤 Manor, you notice a cart by the side of the road. A tall-hooded man stands beside it. With seeming ease, he holds the cart up by one hand while attaching the wheel with another. As you get closer, he finishes his repairs and hops into the driver's seat. Following the command, 2 donkeys obediently start pulling the cart up the road in the same direction you are going. The back of the cart is tightly covered with a piece of brown canvas and looks mostly empty. So, cool little setup as you approach that manor. But yeah, it looks like a fun time. It's got a good review already, a 5-star review. 3 ratings, so 3 people have given it 5 stars, so that's a good sign. But 57 pages of fun, and it's $3.95. Check it out under guesting at Artifice Manor in the links below. Next, we have a guide to the Cult of Black Earth, a Princes of the Apocalypse guide by D&D 𝘏𝙤𝙤𝙬𝙠𝙨. Dive in and know the true strength of the power of the earth, it says. It's $4.99 for 27 pages. Deep beneath the earth, sinister forces conspire to threaten all of Faerun. Who are they? What do they want? And how do they intend to spread their power and influence through the realms? That is what this guide hopes to provide to help you run the nefarious cults of the evil elementals. You got motivation and goals of the Cult of Black Earth, organization of their cult, their operations through the 𝙭Valley, new abilities and items for them to use, 14 new magic items, 13 new spells, 7 new monsters, and their tokens. This guide is meant to be a resource to help you run the Black Earth, make them even more challenging for your players, and develop your own side quests in the 𝙭Valley. You can also use what is in this guide to help in creating your own homebrew setting for your elemental cult. So that's fun. And unfortunately, the full-size preview does not work. So if you're watching D&D 𝘏𝙤𝙤𝙬𝙠, consider checking on that and fixing it. It might be fixed by the time you guys are watching this. So give it a try yourself if you're clicking the link. But we can take a look inside with the quick preview they have. So you can see got a flow chart of the hierarchy. Some cool art that's nice. I like that art, and this art's also very nice. And all the information about the operations for Black Earth. So fun. I love the cover art. Looks like some really cool art. There's new monsters, spells, magic items, lots of good stuff in here in 27 pages. So check it out under Guide to the Cult of Black Earth in the links below. Next we have Happy Little Clouds. Fun little title, reference to Bob Ross by Kelly Knox, $2.99. For 10 pages. In this colorful, family-friendly tale, Rosalind Ross Wildthorn has a job offer for playful adventurers. Her friend, a druid who lives on a nature reserve hidden from prying eyes, is looking for help tracking down a wayward creature. Ross knows just the party to help. This adventure, the standalone sequel to Happy Little Trents, is inspired by American painter Bob Ross and his unabashed love for nature. It's intended to be played with children or with kids at heart. So that's fun. I love seeing stuff when I'm looking for titles for kids or for teachers or for people working with kids. It's always nice. You can see Happy Little Trents is down here too. It's only 99 cents, so that's nice. You could get both of these for basically $4. And I love Bob Ross, so any reference to him is fun for me. So let's take a look inside. It's for level 1 to 4 characters. So you got your dramatis personae, and then intro, Bird Lady, Nimbus Nature Reserve. So yeah, this seems like it could be a lot of fun for kids. It says a house is visible underneath the branches of a large tree. Aged wood planks and bright green moss cover the cottage, but it's still inviting. Warm light glows through the windows. The smell of damp earth hits your nose. Illuminated lanterns of different sizes and shapes hang from the tree branches and sway back and forth. You see the crow perched on one of the largest branches, watching you. So cool little intro to coming upon this house. And you've got a little trinket table, including things like a petrified piece of wood, a tarnished locket with no picture inside. So lots of visual stuff here. I can see Bob Ross liking this because there's all these little things, maybe something lives here and a happy little tree and all of that stuff. So, and I know that's where the happy little Trents came from. So I love all these references, and, this might even be a way to introduce your children to Bob Ross, because Bob Ross is still worth watching and enjoying, and there's a whole YouTube channel with his works, and I find them incredibly relaxing to just enjoy when I want something peaceful, or even maybe to help me fall asleep, because his voice tones can be very soothing. But I love things inspired by him, and this is well written and looks so cute and fun for kids. So I hope those of you out there with kids give this a try and have fun with them. I think they'll like it. It's a great way to introduce them to Dungeons and Dragons, and it's for those low levels, so it's a perfect starting point. So check out Happy Little Clouds in those links below and give it a click. Next, we have the Haunt Trilogy Special Edition. So this is already a best copper seller, and what this is it's a assembling of a trilogy into hardcover format. So very few titles on Dungeon Masters Guild get to have the print-on-demand treatment, but this one did well enough that it gets that option. So it's from Phil Beckwith, Travis Legge, and PB Publishing, and it's got PDF for $19.95, or you can do the hardcover premium color book for $54.95, or for the same price you can get both. And you can see it looks beautiful. They did a cool thing with the spine to where it looks almost like an actual Wizards publication. See how nice it looks next to the others. I love that. Very cool, and it's quite thick too, so looks really good. And then it collects the Haunt 2, Haunt 3, which I think are a series of adventures, but we'll look at that in a minute. And then there's exclusive additional content. So if you have the original ones, there's some new stuff here. And look at all these pop-up miniatures. Those are fun. So it's the mega best-selling horror-themed Dungeons & Dragons 5th Adventure series. You've got 25 monster stat blocks, character sheets, magic items, combat and counter trackers, color maps, over 100 ready to cut out paper minis. So it's a collected edition of the mega best-selling horror-themed adventure series. So that's awesome. A complete bestiary, character sheets, magic items, color maps, lots of fun stuff. So there's no quick preview, but you can see quite a bit here, and they have the old versions you can look up as well. Like here's a link to the bundle of the PDFs, the original PDFs. But again, this has expanded stuff. It says the bestiary and the removable character sheets and these tokens and things were not necessarily in the original version. So good reason to get it. And I love to support the hardcover books that they release, because DM's Guild doesn't do them often. And if you support those, maybe they'll do more. So I think it's cool. And it's already a best copper seller, so people must be big fans of these Haunt adventures. It says, in ages past, an ancient town was lost and destroyed to a siege of orcs. Only one building survived, and to this day the manor is the only building left standing for miles around. Some say it's haunted. A few whisper of great treasures within, while others whisper that it is a manor. It is the manor itself that lives. No one knows for sure, only that a great evil haunts its halls. Do you dare enter Mortharthus Manor? I can't, Montarthus, I can't really read it in this picture, but so I probably butchered the name, but it sounds fun. I like the concept of this manor that's very, very dangerous. So quite cool, fun. Check it out under Haunt Trilogy in the links below and give it a click. Next we have Heroic Surge with some beautiful cover artwork by My Couatl at $1.99 for 8 pages. It says Heroic Surge is a supplement that provides mechanics for heroic last stands for pivotal pivotal campaign moments. Sometimes simply dropping to 0 hit points and making death saves is incredibly anticlimactic. In the great stories, a hero will rise again by force of will alone to confront the villain, long after their body has given out. Against all reason and all odds, their sight fading and their flowing blood draining their life away, they raise their blade one final time. This product advises when and how to use these epic last stands and provides mechanics for all 13 classes to give characters an appropriate set of abilities with which to make their friends stand. I love this concept because it is true. You see that a lot in stories, and I like that it's got these each of the classes is different. I mean, that's really cool. I mean, one thing to give kind of a generic, this is how you come back to life at the last second and, to do a final heroic surge, but to detail it by class, that's pretty impressive. So let's take a look inside. So you've got the credits, and it's also from Pyromaniac Press. So here's some of the details. So you get to see all of the pages, so no reason not to check this one out and see if it suits you. So here's we'll read one of these. Artificer, the pressure of imminent demise only serves to sharpen your wits and creative inspiration. You gain the following abilities. Those fleeting flashes of genius become a flowing river of conceptualization. You may add your intelligence modifier to your skill checks and saving throws. You add your intelligence modifier to attack rolls, and you impose disadvantage on saving throws against your artificer spells and abilities. So those are some cool buffs for you in those final moments. And that's just one. We just read the Artificer, but they've got all the classes represented here with stunning artwork. Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, you name it, it's in here. And you get to see maybe these last stands. So I like that a lot. Really fun idea and different for each class. I mean, how can you go wrong for $2? So check it out under Heroic Surge and those links below. Give it a click. Next we have Pale Rider of the Shattered Plains with some fun artwork on the front, and it's part of a series of adventures. It looks like it's number 2 out of 4. It's 104 pages for $14.95 from David Hardy. And it says, you have been sent on an important mission to the frontier town of Saga, stranded among the madness of the Shattered Plains, a land which lacks any natural logic, where environments of every type are packed in and shuffled together. Saga has managed to survive, but this latest challenge is even too much for them to handle. The Pale Rider has appeared. His aims are a mystery. His goals are unknown. The only thing the people of Saga know is that a terrible curse befalls all those who cross the path of this vengeful wraith. So it's a full adventure campaign for 5th edition, going all the way from 5th level to 10th level, and it's a sequel to Defenders of the Spring Citadel. So you could play that and then play this, or you could just start this when your characters reach 5th level. It says it's excellent for players who wish to explore strange, uncanny fantasy locations with a rough and tumble frontier village as their base of operations. Explorers, hunters, and outlanders will feel right at home surviving the Shattered Plains. In this adventure, your players might hunt or be hunted by creatures out in the wilderness. Included is a full-length 104-page adventure. That's a lot of pages, so that's nice. 7 brand new magic items, 13 sidekick-ready NPCs, full monster manual, not just for this adventure, but for all 4 adventures in the series. 1 new unique race, 2 unique feats, gorgeous cover art, and an overview of the country of Nadir. So, and then the first one, I think we previewed that one as well. Yep, I remember that one. So that was a fun one. So very cool. I'm expecting more fun things from this one. So yeah, you can see the inside here. 7 of the 104 pages. So you've got the story overview, the pacing, a hook. So let's read the hook. You only need to run hook A if your players previously completed the previous adventure, and this bridges the gap. So accepting the job, and then they have hook B, new arrivals. If your players did not complete the previous adventure, run that hook. So very nice. So they're giving you the options there. I like that. So the journey. Sanity passed you miles ago. While many of the landmarks remind you of the lands of Nadir you had seen before, which were similar enough to general climate of Faerun to be familiar, many others do not. The terrain seems to change erratically, one moment shifting to a burning heat and the next to a blinding cold. It began raining in a torrent torrential downpour for about half a second as you passed through the tip of one splinter, and then dried up as the cartwheels were suddenly muffled by sand, and you heard all ocean tides coming in and out, although you did not see any hint of ocean water around you. The creatures similarly make no sense. You notice giant multicolored constrictor snakes hanging from chilly, snow-covered evergreen trees. So, quite flavorful, different stuff going on. Erratic terrain can be really interesting to players because it's very visual, right? So I think this will be a fun one for you. Check it out under Pale Rider of the Shattered Plains in the links below. Next we have Setting Map Pack 1. It's a collection of scenic street level maps with setting descriptions and story hooks. It's from 𝙁𝙁𝙧𝙬𝙧 Screamsong. It's $1.95 for 8 pages. It says if you're looking for ready-made settings with detailed maps, numerous locations, and tons of provided story possibilities, then look no further. So you can see here all these beautiful maps and information about the locations. It says introducing a pack of ready-made quick start maps that provide a scenic street level view of 4 distinct settings. Each map is loaded with several named locations but offers countless more in this detail-rich offering. Plus each map includes a D20 table of potential story hooks or local conflicts that you can weave into any story. So these are like drop in. You just drop in a location, gives you a cool looking view of the location, some potential places to go, and then you can invent the rest. So it's kind of like half filling it in for you, giving you options to invent your own stuff. So very nice. You don't feel like, sometimes when people, name every single part of the map, it doesn't leave room for the DM to invent their own areas. So I like that this is kind of just giving you some stuff, but not everything. And let's take a look inside. So you get to see 5 of the 8 pages. So each of the maps they talk about, and so you can see here are the numbers of the locations. So you got all this stuff, and then information, story ideas. We'll read some of the story ideas in a minute. And then here's Razor Rock Harbor. This looks so cool. So let's go up here and read some of the story ideas for Lyriglade. A tower guardsman has reported something strange coming down the river in a large ship. A wealthy merchant at the Leaping Lily Inn offers an exorbitant price for the heads of his enemies. Several townspeople have gone missing over the last few months, only to return all at once under the control of a powerful entity bent on revenge. So that sounds fun. And they're doing that for each of the locations. You've also got the map. Yeah, lots of cool stuff in here. I really like this. The maps are very well done, and lots of fun descriptions for these locations. So check it out under Setting Map Pack 1 in the links below. Next we have Sora Esma's Dread Keepsakes, 50 Macabre Trinkets from Dread Metral and Eberron by Jared Taylor for $1.49, 4 pages. It says Sora Esma, the sagacious hobgoblin crone, has found her course through the mists and gloom to the once proud heart of Sire, the grim realm known as Dread Metral. This book bridges the worlds of Eberron and Ravenloft. The supplement includes 50 dread trinkets that help set a darker tone in the domain of dread. These esoteric items can be kept in self-contained adventure or serve as passages to opening up a wider Ravenloft or Mornland campaign. So, and then there's a whole bundle with other books involving Sora Esma down here at the bottom, so consider that before you buy this, because this is included in all those things. You can still get to it by clicking the link below, but let's take a look inside. And you've got all your trinkets here. We'll read a couple of those in a minute, and the credits. So it says a platinum key emblazoned with the crest of the House of Elsarak that unlocks a secret passage within North Shore. A mangled wrought iron birdcage that is clearly empty but emits a chorus of crow caws from within. A hybrid reforged foot, half dwarven and half warforged, that makes its bearer immune to trench rot. So some fun, flavorful trinkets. You can always use some more of those, and it helps with the both Ravenloft and Eberron here. So check it out under Sora Esma's Dread Keepsakes in the links below. Next we have, so the players want to create an adventurer guild from the KSM team for $2.95 suggested price on Pay What You Want for 14 pages. Are you faced with the decision of your players to create an adventurers guild? Then this booklet is perfect for you. Here we have developed a system that allows players to manage their guild in minigame format. It's very flexible, and you can easily customize it for your campaign. So let's take a look. So they got creating your guild, guild members, recruiting adventurers, adventurer card, all kinds of various things like stress counters, stress tolerance, optional rules, quest card, keywords, role-playing guild owners. So we'll just read a little bit here. So quest card, each task quest that enters the guild has its own card, which is prepared by the dungeon master in advance. Such a card displays all the information on the assignment, a narrative text describing the assignment, and an optional illustration that emphasizes the essence or atmosphere of the assignment. On the card you'll find options for solving the problem, indicating the complexity, maximum number of group members, keywords, additional tasks, reward for adventurers, and peculiarities, description, as well as an illustration optionally. And then breaks down what each of those things are and how you would populate those. So looks fun, looks different. Like if you're wanting to have a guild for adventurers, this could be an option for you. It's got a pay what you want price, so you could check it out for less than the suggested price and then come back and pay more later once you figured out whether it's going to work for you. But fun idea. Definitely could see players wanting to have their own guild for adventuring. So check out So the Players Want to Create an Adventure Guild in the links below. Give it a click. Next we have Van Richten's Ecology of Vampires. It's a guide for those who dwell in the night, tools to give your vampiric villain flavor, variety, and bite. But from Misfactor Press and Shane Oldhauser, $1.95 for 13 pages. It says, in his career of over 30 plus years, Dr. Van Richten risks life, limb, and at times his immortal soul in order to accumulate his vast knowledge to become the foremost expert and hunter of the horrors that stalk the core and beyond. For the first time ever for 5th edition, we take the classics Van Richten's Guide to Vampires and bring it into the current rule system. The supplement gives DMs various options to customize vampires to fit their campaigns, including creating older and more dangerous vampires to set against players. Also included are options concerning feeding, procreation, hibernation, and more. So sharpen your stakes, clutch your holy symbol tightly and with conviction, for when the sun sets, the hunt begins. Inside you find age ranking from fledgling to patriarch, matriarch, the stages a vampire goes through till they reach blood starvation, vampire methods of procreation, rules for staking a vampire, vampire hibernation, vampire salient powers. So it's already doing pretty well on the seller list, I think, unless I'm mistaken. I may have mixed it up with another title, but I if it is, I see why, because I mean it's got beautiful art and people need to flesh out these vampires. A lot of people are playing in Ravenloft right now, so it's really fun. Look at these borders. It reminds me of the 2nd edition, 3rd edition Ravenloft stuff with these fun borders. There's a lot of D20 Ravenloft stuff that had fun borders, etc. So yeah, it says putting the horror back in the vampire. Vampire entry in the monster manual states that a vampire can only use the ability once per day for 1 hour. Using the vampire age category rules, this vampire would be but a fledgling. For every category past fledgling, the ability can be used an additional time per day. So it's making distinctions between the different ages, which is important. You see that in a lot of lore and literature for vampires as well, that they have different abilities for how long they've been alive, because they do live for quite a long time. So yeah, I think this has a lot to offer if you are looking for ways to flesh out your vampires. I think Van Richten's Ecology of Vampires is a perfect option, so check it out in the links below and give it a click. Next we have Where's My Couatl by Stephen Bull, an investigative one-shot adventure. Love the fun cover here, playful. It says, a clumsy wizard in an open wilderness and a lost celestial dragon. This is something only adventurers can solve. Where's My Couatl is a short, simple investigative adventure designed to give players a low-level taste of exploration, examination, and problem-solving. In this adventure, players are set the task of tracking down Shen, a missing infant Couatl, by gathering clues from local residents in the wilderness. With these clues, players can narrow down the most likely areas where Shen might be hiding, and work out how to draw her in the open and reunite the wandering wizard with his friend. It's a 1 to 2 session adventure for level 2 characters. It's got its own original region map, creature stats, but it's otherwise setting neutral, so it can be inserted into any existing or homebrew world or added to an existing adventure. and it's got a link here on Incarnate, where if you have an account there, you can check out the map. It might even be free to check out even without having the membership. It's 34 pages. $6.91 is the price. Let's take a look at it doesn't have a full preview, but we can look at the quick preview. So you can see some of the interior, so nicely laid out, easy to read. Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. Couatls, you don't see those a whole lot, so I think it could be fun to help this wizard find his Couatl and reunite them. And yeah, the art looks playful and fun. Might also be a good one for kids, because it seems like it's less of a combat experience and more of like a skillful time. So I like that. Well, that's the last title for this week. So please follow me on Splinterverse on Twitter. We, like I said earlier, my next book, 𝙭Companion, comes out on Monday, September 20th. So please look for that and go to the Twitter to start seeing some of the interiors. It's 150 pages involving myself and a total of 14 writers and over 20 artists involved. So you're going to support a lot of creators by checking that out and seeing their work. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, leave a comment. I will respond to those, and share the video out if you can. Click those links down below. Support all the wonderful creators we've shown today. Buying anything from those links supports the channel, so I really appreciate that. And if you're feeling especially kind, consider Potions Unlocked, which is print on demand, and a PDF on DriveThru, also linked below, as well as Van Richten's Libram of Lineages, linked below and available on DM's Guild. It's only $2.95, so really easy way to help support the channel, and lots of good stuff inside. So check it out, and don't forget 𝙭Companion on Monday. We want to make that a popular title so that people can use it alongside The Wild Beyond the Witchlight and have a good time exploring the Feywild. So until next time, guys, happy adventuring.